This is our land, this is our time. No chains can hold a heart so wild. We rise, we fight, we take our stand for Scotland's future hand in hand. No more waiting, no more fear. The truth is loud, the choice is clear. A nation proud, a people free. Scotland's fate is up to we. From the mountains to the shore, we dream of something more. A land of promise, hope and fire. A future that will lift us higher. This is our land, this is our time. No chains can hold a heart so wild. We rise, we fight, we take our stand for Scotland's future hand in hand. For every voice that's yet to speak, for every heart that still feels weak, we march, we sing, we'll break the chain, we'll never bow, we'll rise again. This is our land, this is our time. No chains can hold a heart so wild. We rise, we fight, we take our stand for Scotland's future hand in hand.
Good evening, Scotland. Good evening, social media land. I hope you're well. Welcome to Saorsa Live. It is Friday the 21st of March 2025. Tonight we are only streaming on YouTube because when I pushed live tonight it said, oh, we don't have TikTok set up anymore, and I don't know why that is, so we'll have a wee investigation of that after the live tonight. So it's just hi everybody in YouTube land. I hope you're all good. So that'll be much easier than playing ping pong conversation tennis. So anyway, we are recording this live tonight, as we always do, for the security and the integrity of the live stream. That includes all the chat as well. So a lot has happened this week. We've had the Branchform thing with Nicola being cleared. We've had Labour doing their amazing humanitarian piece by cutting welfare. And Liz Kendall, I think she's the Department of Work and Pension Secretary, also coming after your kids to get them into the army to reduce that welfare budget. That's such a great thing. So we're going to have a wee chat about all this and a little bit more as well. But as always, we always have to start with this little jingle. Start our lives with an important reminder that we are fighting one of the world's greatest propaganda machines, the British state and their right-wing oligarch-run media. To combat this, we ask that you always follow, like and share and comment positively across all social media platforms on any of your favourite Scottish independence creators and commentators. By doing this, you help to spread the word of our cause and manipulate social media algorithms to benefit our struggle. So please, for now, like and share this live stream, and if you haven't already, follow this account. Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit weird saying that it's done it again, but I think there was I don't know what happened. When I clicked it, it said it wasn't set up, or it didn't have the all the number things in it, like the stream keys and stuff in it. I'm not taking it out because it's a permanent stream key. I'm just wondering if I need to log into TikTok Live Studio as well to do that. But we will have a wee look at that afterwards, to say the least. So let's have a quick look. Hi Scotch Steve, how are you? So yeah, we're not on TikTok tonight, anybody across there just now. I'll give everybody another minute or so with me rambling before we get on, just to see if anybody does jump in across from TikTok. If you are from TikTok, go on. Yes, Hapless Techno Weenie, thank you Barry. Very good of you. So yeah, let's just start, shall we? Let's just get on with the show. There's about 4 segments I want to get through, and a couple of them are a wee bit longer than usual and a couple of wee bit shorter than usual. But the first thing I want to talk about is the Operation Branchform thing, and we're going to say that cleared but not without the cost to the independence movement. So for 3 years, a wee bit longer, Operation Branchform has cast a long shadow over the Scottish National Party and by extension the wider independence movement. Launched in 2021, the police investigation centred on how approximately £600,000 worth of funds raised by the SNP for a second independence referendum had been used. It was a matter of public interest, and rightly so. When political trust is questioned, scrutiny is essential. It's a shame that they don't do that as much with Westminster parties though. But scrutiny must also be proportionate and fair. So this month, Police Scotland confirmed that Nicola Sturgeon, former First Minister, and Colin Beattie, former SNP Treasurer, have been fully cleared. This is their statement that they've set out on Twitter. So Operation Branchform update following direction from the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal. Criminal inquiries into the 2 people arrested on the investigation into funding and finances of the SNP have now concluded. 73-year-old man arrested on 18th of April 23, and the 54-year-old woman arrested on the 11th of June 23 have not been charged, and they're no longer under investigation. Tremendous. So neither individual has been charged. The investigation into them has been officially closed. This news, while significant, lands after years of media frenzy, political speculation and reputational damage. Meanwhile, Mr. Murrell and I will be very careful what I say here, because there is effectively a court order out for contempt of court for anybody talking too much about it. So Peter Murrell, Nicola's estranged husband and former SNP chief, now faces the charges of embezzlement. Alleged charges of embezzlement. Well, he's been charged, and so there we go. The sum involved was around 600,000, and we all know, in my opinion, it wasn't embezzled. That's just me. Okay, it's an opinion. Alright, it's nothing any other than that, okay? The appearance of Peter Murrell in court, again, in my opinion, do you think maybe that they're playing for time? You know, the media, once again, you know, we've got an election next year. Do you think they're just wanting to keep this going? And the establishment want to keep it going? I don't know, it's a difficult one to say, you know. But we shouldn't be talking about it too much, because you don't really want to be influencing everything. But that, I've actually picked that up on about 4 or 5 different comments throughout Facebook and Twitter, and it kind of made sense a little bit, because we didn't see a blue tent outside Michelle Moan's house, did we, for that sort of thing? We didn't see the headlines about her every single day, relentlessly targeting her, when she had, what was it, 30 million or something? I don't know. A lot more of the public money rather than just party money. And I think that should have been investigated a little bit more. So have the establishment intended to discredit the SNP, and this costing a fortune to the taxpayer in the process? I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because if money had been stolen from the party, that means the SNP as a party are victims as well, and that's something we need to consider. Anyway, the case will proceed through the courts as it should, and any judgment there must be left to the justice system. What we can't ignore, however, is the broader cost of this entire process. So Operation Branchform reportedly taken up more than 3 years of police and Crown Office time, and estimates the public costs in the region of £1.5 million, not including ongoing costs of court proceedings. For an investigation that has resulted in a single charge after multiple arrests, including high-profile ones, serious questions will be asked about the proportionality and the impact. But what of the impact? The timing and visibility of Branchform shattered cohesion within the SNP and fractured trust in its leadership at a critical moment in the independence campaign. Internal resignations, leadership transitions and an exodus of members all played out while the party's integrity was under investigation, with little detail provided publicly and speculation filling the vacuum. That echo chamber on Twitter. But more damaging still has been the fallout within the wider movement. Confidence in leadership gave way to tribalism, mistrust and disillusionment. Supporters who once stood united behind the cause of independence found themselves distracted by internal division, drawn into debates over loyalty, legitimacy and transparency. The focus shifted from nation building to internal blame, and the shift just didn't weaken the SNP, it kind of diluted the independence message itself. Now with Nicola cleared, it is time to ask, was the way this was handled proportionate to the consequences it unleashed? Should the Crown Office or the Police Scotland have communicated more clearly to prevent the damaging speculation that followed each arrest without the charges? These are questions for others to answer, and that would be after the Peter Morrell case as well. But one truth stands: whatever the eventual outcome of the Morrell case, Operation Branchform has already done some serious damage to Scotland's political landscape. It did not kill the independence movement, but it did split it, distracted it and left a scar that must now be healed. If that healing is to happen, it will require unity, transparency and a renewed focus on the goal, not the drama that derailed it at all. We can't be having that. There we go.
My name is Kareem and I want to build a better Scotland by progress with a well-being economy so everyone in our land can live in dignity and security. What would you do to build a better Scotland?
You know, the whole Branchform thing, it frustrated the crap out of me because I kind of pride myself on being an honest person, and I've never in my life intentionally stolen anything. And to think that the leaders and the party that we all kind of liked back in 2014 would have ended up in this situation is awful. But there has to be a little bit of the dark arts and the establishment hands stirring that up a little bit at some space. And then they don't really need to do much when it comes to stirring the pot for the independence people, do they? Because we're all tribal clan divides and everything like that. And it's a damn shame, because when we have collective cohesive energy, we're unstoppable. Let's have a look at the chit chat going on here. Oh, there's Martin. Hiya Martin, how are you? And there is Henry. I said hi. Oh, there's Robert. Lisa. Hi Lisa. And Aaron as well. Brilliant. Listen, if I don't mention you or you cannot chat in the chat for YouTube, then you need to subscribe, wait 5 minutes, and then you will get onto it. So the next little part we're going to talk about is about Labour's austerity plans. They like to think that it's not austerity, but it really is. Anas Sarwar was saying that austerity is when public spending goes down, and he's not incorrect. But you know what? If you've got people in your own party in Scotland, Anis, that are resigning, and you've got MSPs that are being super critical of what's going on, then you should really take your head out your arse and maybe just listen to them. There's something going on. Why don't you just take Scottish Labour and turn it into a proper Scottish Labour Party? Make it a Scottish Labour Party as opposed to like just a little extension of UK Labour. Do you think you would have the balls to do that? No, I don't think so. Anyway, let's get on with the Labour thing. So Labour promised change. They stood on stages and they were appearing on screens pledging they were different, swearing that they would end Tory cruelty, they would end austerity and they would end the suffering. But what did they really bring? Exactly what the Tories brought, but just in a red wrapper. They kept the two-child benefit capped, thousands of Scottish children condemned to poverty, while Labour MPs cheered themselves hoarse about fairness and reform. Mental. They cut the winter fuel payment for pensioners, many of whom paid into the system their whole life, left to shiver throughout the winter, while Starmer and Sarwar polished their spin. And now they're slashing disability benefits because Westminster, whether red or blue, is always going after the weakest first. I've got a wee picture here. Let's bring this up just now. So this chap here, during the campaign, actually asked Keir Starmer whether or not he would look after disabled people. Right, and he put out an image and I kind of grabbed it and made this thing out of it. You know, that new direction for Scotland. The direction, in my opinion, is betrayal and cruelty. But this lad said, "Hello, Keir, you won't remember me, but this is you and I campaigning some time back. I was the guy in the wheelchair who asked you if you'd protect disabled, protect we disabled after 14 years of Tory persecution. You told me yes. You betrayed me." That's just one person. That's one person that had his picture taken with Keir Starmer at the time. I honestly don't know how they can sleep at night, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, this isn't fiscal prudence. This isn't smart budgeting. It is economic violence. Calculated cruelty against those with the least power. It's policy designed not to protect but to punish, and it is a choice, a deliberate, shameless choice made by a Labour Party that looked Scotland in the eye and lied. Let's not dodge the truth on this. Scotland did vote Labour in 2024, they did. And many of those voters, good, decent people, are now left asking themselves, what on earth have I done? They thought they were voting for something better. They believed that they were voting to kick the Tories out and end the lies, to see energy bills fall and the fairness of society return. That was the dream that Labour sold them. And now, that dream has been burned to ash by the same party they entrusted with their future. Keir and Anis have ripped up every promise they made, and the people of Scotland are the ones being made to pay. They were lied to, deceived and manipulated, and now they're watching a Labour Party that is indistinguishable from the Tories. Miss Sarwar, though, he stood in front of Scotland and brazenly lied. You know, he told us this isn't austerity that's happening because overall spending is going up. Not for disabled people, not for people that are going to be forced back into work when many of them might not be able to. If you rob a starving man of his last piece of bread and then show him a banquet, does that make him full? You know, everything's okay with the other part of welfare, but your part of welfare is a bit mixed up, mate. You're not going to get the same amount of money. If your house is burning down and someone points out that the fire station's down the road and it's working fine, and they don't come to your home, you know, that doesn't make any difference whatsoever. In my opinion, this is austerity and it is theft, and worst of all, it was entirely avoidable because Labour had alternatives. They could have raised money in fair and just ways without brutalising the vulnerable. a wealth tax, a tiny sliver for those who could afford it, it would have raised billions, but they refused. A serious crackdown on non-dom tax dodgers, the ultra-rich avoiding their dues, but they refused to do that as well. A transaction tax on financial elites, closing the corporate loopholes, making billionaire landowners pay even a fraction of what ordinary workers do, but again they refused. Why? Because they'd rather take from pensioners, disabled people, the poor, and those without lobbyists, without lawyers, and without multi-million pound donors propping up their party. They always choose the path of least resistance, and that path runs straight through Scotland's working class. And even now even those within Labour can no longer stomach it. We've got Neil Findlay, who was a Scottish MSP for a decade. He walked away from the party after 35 years. This is not a backbencher or some fringe voice out in the back seats. This was a senior figure. He was a senior leader within the Labour Party in Holyrood. And he says that Starmer lied and Labour has sold out, that they've turned its back on the very people that they claim to protect. That's mental. And he's not the only one. And across Scotland and the UK, long-time Labour members are tearing up their cards in disgust because they see it now. This is not the party they believed in. This is Tory policy with Labour branding. But Anna Starwar still stands there, grinning for the cameras, shoveling the same lies down Scotland's throat. He says this isn't austerity. He says cutting disability payments is just reform. He also said that he'd save all the jobs at Grangemouth. Do you remember that? But he can't do that because it's a private company. So's Thames Water, mate. So's Thames Water. I don't have time for Anna Starwar at all. At all. It's utterly disgusting that he is standing there and, being interviewed on the television and doing the same soundbite over and over and over again, thinking that if he says it enough times, we're going to believe it. But how's this going to actually affect Scotland's budget? Okay, well, thanks to the Barnett formula, Westminster's way of keeping Scotland on a leash, when England cuts spending, our spending also gets cut. So Labour gut services in England and Scotland will pay the price. We didn't vote for this, we didn't ask for these cuts, but we are forced to carry the cost anyway. There's that Fraser of Alander Institute said that Scotland will lose around about 115 million, I believe, per billion of cuts. Okay, so that is, even if we just say it's 115 million, that is 115 million less for hospitals, care homes, and our most vulnerable people. And we have to find that money from elsewhere within our fixed budget. And so many people still don't get that. They don't grasp the fact that our budget comes from Westminster. Okay, we send all our money down there and they decide how much money we're going to get back. And I've got the sums memorised in my head from 23-24. 87.5 billion went down, we got 41 billion back. They spent a further 30 billion on things that they control for Scotland, leaving round about 16.5 billion in surplus. Then they spend another 22 billion on top of that, saying that was for public services, and it's a public service deficit. But if you add the 16.5 billion to the 22 billion, you get 38.5 billion. So what the hell are they spending 30 odd billion extra on behalf of Scotland on? Part of that is our alleged deficit. It's mind-boggling, utterly mind-boggling, and people can't see it. Anyway, that's really about it for that whole thing. It drives me bananas to think that we are in a position that, once again, we have to pick up the pieces. We have to turn around and tell our people that we have to spend less. And I think it's done on purpose. I think that it's done to weaken Scotland and make the Scottish Government look incompetent. What can I say? what can I say? West Streeting, okay? West Streeting is so proud of all this that he has actually turned round and said in the Houses of Parliament, okay, that the Tories only dreamed of what Labour's done. I've got the video. Let me find it. Hold on a second. I think that it is under segment 2. Let me check if this is the wrong. No, this is the right one. Here we go.
I appreciate it must be so painful for the Conservative Party. It must be so painful watching a Labour government doing the things that they only ever talked about. Reducing the size of bloated state bureaucracy, investing in defence, reforming our public services, bringing down the welfare bill. The public are asking, what is the point of the Conservative Party? I bet they're glad they chose change with Labour.
Change with Labour. West Streeting turning round and saying we're out Torying the Tories. That's such a great brag, isn't it? It's something very positive to say to publicly to the people. Drives me bananas. Let's have a quick look in the side chat just now. Lisa, I don't know whether you can or can't actually swear here. I don't know whether there's an Autobot type thing that will pick up your swearing and spank you, but you know, I don't know. Give it a shot, see what happens. Worst that can happen is you get chucked out. I'll let you back in later though. Hi Alex, how are you? You're trying very hard not to swear. You can give it a shot, you know. Just, it's mental. Utterly mental. So, hold on. I saw something else that was interesting. Let me scroll back. Yeah. There's Wolfie as well. Hi Eddie, how are you? Right, okay, I'm going to move on to the third segment just now. This is about Liz Kendall's war economy and basically how she's coming after your children. Okay, so in a move that has sent shockwaves through the nation, Work and Pension Secretary Liz Kendall, who incidentally I find to be an exceptionally dangerous woman, okay, has unveiled a controversial strategy to address youth unemployment by encouraging young people to join the armed forces. This is what the Express had to say about it. So Liz Kendall says young people will be pushed to join the army to cut youth unemployment. The government will push young people to join the army as part of a bid to slash the benefit bill. Work and Pension Secretary Liz Kendall made the announcement as she confirmed long-awaited cuts to the from the House of Commons. She is to meet colleagues in the Ministry of Defence to discuss the plan. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. You know, I think Labour are on a war economy footing. Okay, and we'll discuss that just now. So this initiative ostensibly is aimed at reducing the burgeoning benefits bill. It raises alarming questions about the government's priorities and the potential exploitation of our youth in a burgeoning war economy. Kendall's announcement comes on the heels of Labour's government's decision to slash $5 billion from the welfare spending by 2029. These cuts targeting the sick and disabled individuals have been justified as necessary to fix our burdened system and reduce national expenditure. However, critics have argued that these measures will be disproportionately harm the most vulnerable in society, pushing them further into poverty and exacerbating existing inequalities. Concurrently, Keir Starmer has committed a substantial increase in defence spending, aiming to raise it from 2.3% of GDP just now to 2.5% by 2027. And he's also got an ambitious target of getting it up to 3% by the next parliamentary term, by 2029. Now, this escalation translates into round about an additional $5 billion allocated to the defence budget, a figure that eerily mirrors the proposed welfare cuts. So they're wanting to cut welfare by $5 billion by 2029, but then have defence spending increase by $5 billion by 2029. Nah. Don't like that. Don't like it at all. The synchronicity of these financial manoeuvres suggests a deliberate reallocation of resources from social welfare to military expenditure. Such a strategy not only undermines the social safety net, but also signals a shift towards a war-centric economy, where the needs of the defence sector are prioritised over the well-being of the citizens. Kendall's proposal to channel unemployed youth into the military under the guise of providing exciting careers and opportunities are particularly concerning. There's actually a video about this as well, all right, and I've got it. I'm going to play that one to you just now. I was going to play it at the end of the segment, but I think it's more relevant if we play it now. This is actually, I ripped this from the internet, and it's two young people and some military contractor type folk talking about this and how exciting the opportunities will be.
It opens more doors for the youth, because putting money towards all the small to medium businesses and the opportunities that we've just seen that Keir Starmer's announced, I think it's great. It's a great opportunity for the younger generation to grab a hold, you know, expand their skills, maybe even find a career.
It will open more doorways for me and probably people like me, which is younger people, so young adults, and it means more job opportunities. It's made me feel more secure about the future.
The increase in defence spending will benefit the whole country, and we will see an increase in jobs, we will see an increase in the sustainment of our military forces, and we will see a huge increase in the local economies. It's been great to see the Prime Minister celebrating the young people of Great Britain and signalling what a great future that they might have working in the defence sector.
One of the things that I'm really proud about with the defence industry is just how many people it employs right outside of London and right across the UK. And I think increasing that investment is just really vital for those companies, whether they're larger ones or smaller ones. And I think having that support from the Defence Secretary and the Prime Minister around spending commitments and about making sure that young people get great access to good jobs and careers in the UK, I think is more important now than ever.
It's an opportunity that means that we've got job security in our region for, you know, years and years and years, and that's great for young people to feel inspired and want to work there with us. And obviously the steel industry itself, it's great news for us, and it means that people can look forward to the future and actually develop key skills there and remain there for a long time for their career.
What gets me about that as well, right, is you've got all these incredible business people in the defence sector going, yeah, let's build shit that will kill people. Yeah, this is going to be great. It's going to be great because we'll have our kids making this stuff and maybe even going out and using that stuff to go and kill other people's kids with it. Isn't that groovy? That's going to make us so much money. Meanwhile, they're sitting in a cosy office, not even worrying about the bullets, not even worrying about your kids, not even worrying about the effect that would have on our whole set of islands here. And I'm talking about England as well. Okay, disgusting, utterly disgusting. Why in this modern world are we even considering a war economy? And don't tell me Russia and China, okay, at all. I'd be more worried about America right now, the way that they're behaving. But do you know what? Let's talk first and let's see what happens. Okay, to me, it's a no-brainer. Listen, while employment and training are vital for young people's development, using the armed forces as a primary solution to unemployment raises ethical and practical issues. It risks militarizing our youth and exploiting economic vulnerabilities to meet the demands of an expanding defence agenda. The government's approach has sparked significant backlash from its ranks and among advocacy groups. Labour MPs such as Debbie Abrahams have criticised the welfare cuts, arguing that balancing finances on the backs of sick and disabled people is unjust. Charities and mental health organisations have condemned the reforms as cruel, warning that they will adversely affect those unable to work. And now we have Liz Kendall turning around and saying, I'm coming for your kids and we're going to take from the disabled and we're going to boost it into the pockets of the defence industry. I think the whole thing is utterly disgusting. But I did a wee bit of research with the help of somebody else as well to find out a little bit about Liz Kendall, just to see what sort of person she is all about. First of all, she's a Labour MP for Leicester West since 2010, and she now serves as Secretary of State for Work and Pensions under Keir Starmer. She is firmly a Blairite and a neoliberal. Neoliberal, in my words, and in my opinion, again, is actually a war hawk. Okay, somebody who would rather go to war to prop up the economy and have people die as a result of it, just for a quick pound in the bank. She backed evil, which was English votes for English laws, quite harshly actually. She voted to limit Scotland's MPs' influence in Westminster on England-only issues, while English MPs could still vote on Scottish issues that were not covered by the devolved powers. She supports an increasing defence spending up to 3% of GDP and renewing Trident nuclear weapons based here in Scotland. She is the leading voice behind the welfare cuts, and she is no friend of independence or devolution with her evil things from earlier on, but she's quite quiet about independence referendums and stuff. Her policy history suggests a strong unionist leanings and opposition to more Scottish economy. So let's be clear on this. Labour are the neo-Tories. The fact that West Streeting boasts about implementing Tory policies better than the Tories, the fact that they're wanting to spend more on defence and take your kids and use them for that is very Toryish as well. What's happened to Labour? What has happened to Labour? You know, it is frightening to think that the party of, is it Keir Hardie, has turned out the way that it has. It's awful. It really, really is. It really is. I was going to play a wee tune just now, but what the hell, let's play it.
They choke us, they mock us, they tear us apart. They steal from our hands and call it their art. They shut down our future, they sell off our name, then laugh in our faces and tell us we're tame. Let them tighten the noose, let them sharpen the blade, let them steal what they can till the price is paid. Let them think we are broken, let them think we are done, but they'll kneel when they hear the roar of a nation as one. They break us, they burn us, they silence our cries, they poison our minds with their beautiful lies. They gut us, they grind us, they tell us to bow, but their time is fading, it's ending right now. But their hands are shaking, their grip is weak, their empires rotten, their walls all leak. They fear the day the dam will break when all their stolen power shakes. Let them tighten the noose, let them sharpen the blade, let them steal what they can till the price is paid. Let them think we are broken, let them think we are done, but they'll kneel when they hear the roar of a nation as one. No chains can hold what's ready to rise. No king can rule when the people defy. Let them push harder, let them betray, for the reckoning comes, and it comes today. Let them tighten the noose, let them sharpen the blade, let them steal what they can till the price is paid. Let
You like that one, Lisa? Do you? I hope you do. That's really interesting what you said there, Henry. The Labour Party closed down Remploy that employed people that had disabilities, mental health problems. It was very successful. The company that I work for, there's still 2 or 3 people that work within Asda at my shop that came through Remploy, and they're some of our best workers, you know. They're good people, and they're there. One of them's been there for like 8 years now. One of them, unfortunately, has had an affliction with his vision and is not working there anymore. But they're some of the best people that I've ever worked with. I can't believe that Labour shut Remploy down. That's insane. Utterly insane. Right, I'm going to finish up tonight, going to wrap up tonight with a message to our brothers and sisters that are still undecided about independence, okay? You still don't see it, do you? You still think that we can reform this, that we can vote a little smarter, debate a little better, and make it palatable enough for them to let us go, to do our own thing, to be independent. They're not trying to win an argument. They're not trying to win anything other than a war of attrition. We look at Liz Kendall, okay? We look what Labour has become. 5 billion in welfare cuts, 5 billion more for warfare. And how do they sell it? By pushing your children into the army, telling them it is an opportunity when it's truly economic conscription. This isn't policy. This is a pipeline from poverty to uniform, from hopelessness to frontline. A soft war draft disguised as a job scheme. And while they gut our welfare system, they fuel a war machine we didn't ask for and what we don't have a say in controlling. But for what purpose? A peacekeeping force in Ukraine that will no doubt escalate things, leading to the loss of more lives, perhaps your children that are sucked into this policy? That's what the union is now. Exploitation repackaged as governance. And Scotland's not going to be spared any of this. They are bleeding us dry of our resources, our industries and our voice. Grangemouth is closing. Our energy is sold to Europe, while we pay the highest bills in the UK and Westminster get the profit from our energy. Our broadcasting system, we don't even have one. It's completely hijacked, and we get Anglo-centric news all the time with Scotland bad rhetoric. Our democracy is mocked. Our young people are sacrificed on the altar of a British military budget. This is not a government down in Westminster. It's a machine designed to extract everything that it can from Scotland, then blame us when there's nothing left. They break our economy and they say that we're too poor. They rob our waters and they call us dependent. They block every path to self-determination and then laugh at us for being stuck. And now Labour joins in the game because they're the party of government in Westminster. The party that once claimed to stand for the working class has found a new cause: defence expansion, new tanks, new missiles, new soldiers, your children, and you will pay for it, not just with your taxes, but with your dignity and your future. So let them keep going. Let them keep lying to our faces and calling it governance. Let them tell us we are too weak while they strip us of our strength. Let them cut more. Let them push more. Let them starve more. Because the more they do it, the clearer it becomes. Scotland will not be freed by consent. We will not reason our way out of this. They will not give us independence because we are polite. They will only let go when we no longer ask, when we demand without apology, without negotiation, when we just take it. So let them keep going. Let them show the truth for all people to see, because that's what wakes people up. Not another speech, not another white paper, not another promise in a political theatre, but the pain of realisation, of being slowly strangled and then waking up with the union's hands around your throat. This union was never a partnership. It was always about control, and they're trying to break us. Every act of cruelty builds the fury within me, and it will end them. Let them completely keep going with that noose. Let them tighten it. Scotland is waking up to those rope burns around the neck. One day, we will stand up and we will rise to this, and we will take our country back in ways that they can't imagine yet. Yeah, that's it. That's us. We need to do something. We need to do something better. We're preaching to the choir. We all need to, everybody that's watching this just now or watching this back, I guarantee that you know somebody that's undecided. You know at least one person that's undecided. See, over this next week, you need to reach out to them. You need to go and speak to them and just say, how are you feeling about what's going on? Don't try and convince them. Just ask them that question. How do you feel about what's going on? You know, think things could be better. And you'll probably get an answer, well, that's just the way things are. And that's a damn shame, isn't it? When people start feeling that way, that they can't actually push for anything better. And if they don't like independence, they'll say, well, I don't really want it, I don't trust the SNP. But we all know independence is not about the SNP. They're just a tool, a vehicle that will help us move forward. And yet, you know what? They might be in power for the first or second terms after we get our independence, but that beautiful political landscape is it's not painted yet. We don't know what it's going to be like. I reckon it'll be much better than what we've got just now. Listen, thank you very much for watching tonight. Let's have a quick look at, for the last time in the chat. It's been weird not being on TikTok tonight. I feel like half of me is not here. I feel like I'm just sitting in somebody's living room on the couch just chatting rather than being sort of like here and there. But there you go. Alright, okay. Have to do this as well. Okay, so we are basically on all these socials. Okay, this is Saorsa Scott. You're on YouTube just now. We're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky as well. But and all the links are available on lazylinks.co.uk/Saorsa. Lazy Links is basically like a link tree, but better. Okay, it's better because it doesn't like track you all over the place, all right, and doesn't sell your data unless Barry's decided to sell the data. I don't know. I don't think he is though. But it's just better, and it's made by Barry across in YouTube land there. We also have our own Discord as well. So let me just check my emails to see if we have anybody that's wanted to come in the past sort of little while. You need to send me an email to info@saursascott.com with your Discord handle. I will then friend you and send you an invitation once you have accepted the what's it called, the friend request. Okay, and then of course we also have our website up here, okay, saursascott.com, where we pretty much drop all our videos as well, and any blogs that we do will be there. And if you fancy writing a wee blog, there's a really good one called Idle Blog, which was also made by Barry, which is I think it's idle.blog, and it's one of the easiest blogging sites to use. So if you fancy a wee bit of writing, go and use that there, and yeah, give it a shot. Okay, so we're going to go onto Discord in about 5 minutes. We've wrapped this up quite quickly tonight. Next week, I'm going to be looking at Mike Fenwick's sovereign, what's it called, Declaration of a Sovereign Scot. I'm going to look a wee bit at Salvo and Liberation Scotland, stuff that they're doing. I'm also going to look to see, you know, where that lies in the bigger picture of independence as well, because we need these people doing things, and we need our political pillar doing things. And I've talked about these three pillars of independence before: a sound political wing doing the right things at home, an international wing, and then you guys, the grassroots activists. I can see them all. They're all there. They are all there. We, the activists, need to bring it all together though and start making sure that they're working cohesively. We can talk about it. We can talk about it over and over again, but unless you're actually reaching out to people and doing the right thing, it's not going to change. All right? And that's where it stands. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you everybody in YouTube land. And if there's anybody there that wants to come and join us in Discord, send me an email at info@Saorsa ASAP. I have my phone on just now with the email on it so I can get your details and we can get you in. All right, cool. That's us. I think that's us. So we're going to play out with another wee song. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and good luck.
We walk through the echoes of battles long past, footsteps still ringing, the die has been cast. The voices of giants still call out our name, their words in the silence still whisper the same. Oh, we carry the flame, we carry it high, a light in the dark, a hope in the sky. Not one hand alone, not one heart apart. If we stand together, we make a new start. The road isn't easy, the weight isn't small. Too long we've been waiting, too often we fall. But the truth doesn't waver, the stars do not lie. This land